Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real. Love doesn't care about numbers. It doesn't care about how many years are between you. It doesn't care how the world tries to define what's right or wrong. No, love, true love, is something much deeper. It's something that sees past all that. And when someone falls for you, despite the age difference, despite the circumstances, it's not because of what they see on the surface. No, it's because they see something in you that speaks to their soul, something that says, I choose you, not because of time, but because of connection, because of who you are. And you know what? That's powerful. That's a reminder that when love is real, it doesn't need an excuse. It doesn't need validation from the world. What it needs is trust. And what I'm about to share with you today is not just about love, it's about courage. It's about being brave enough to stand in the face of judgment, to love fearlessly, and to show the world that when two people truly connect, nothing else matters. Love has always been a powerful force, one that transcends boundaries and defies conventional wisdom. When we speak of love, we often think about the traditional expectations that society places on relationships, the age gap, the background differences, the roles we're expected to play. But love, true love, doesn't care about any of those things. It's an emotion that reaches far beyond these physical, temporal, and cultural limitations. One of the most beautiful aspects of love is that it transcends time and age. The connection between two people isn't determined by how many years separate them, but by how deeply they can understand, appreciate, and connect with each other on a soul-deep level. In a world that often defines relationships by rigid standards, age being one of the most persistent, love shows us a different way. We've all been taught that there are appropriate age ranges for partnerships, relationships, and love. From movies to social media, we're inundated with examples of what relationships should look like, which often means similar life stages, comparable experiences, or an age-appropriate pairing. The notion that love must conform to a certain set of expectations, such as the age of partners, is deeply embedded in our collective psyche. And yet, love consistently proves that these limits are mere constructs of the human mind, not of the heart. When two people connect deeply, when they see each other for who they truly are, beyond the years they've spent on this earth, the age difference loses its significance. It becomes a footnote to the real story, the story of how two souls can find each other in a world filled with distractions, misunderstandings, and superficial judgments. What binds them is the shared experiences they create, the emotional bonds they form, and the understanding they develop for each other, irrespective of the number of birthdays they've celebrated. For example, think about the emotional intelligence that can exist between two people, regardless of their age gap. One may have lived through more years, but that doesn't automatically mean they hold the key to understanding or wisdom. We all experience life differently. Some people grow faster emotionally, some take longer, and some never truly learn. Age is simply a number, a societal construct, but the depth of understanding two people share comes from their ability to listen, empathize, and challenge each other in ways that make them grow together. Love that transcends time and age isn't about denying the realities of life or ignoring practical considerations. It's about acknowledging that the heart doesn't operate on a clock. The heart doesn't look at someone's face and calculate how many years they've been alive. It looks for something deeper. It looks for connection, for shared values, for a love that feels as if it's been there all along. Think about how we are drawn to the people who make us feel seen, understood, and valued. Age doesn't make someone more or less capable of making you feel that way. If anything, the shared experiences that a couple with an age gap brings to the table can enrich their connection. One partner may have more life experience, a different perspective, and wisdom to share, while the other might bring a fresh energy, enthusiasm, and a different way of looking at the world. These differences, when embraced, can lead to a richer, fuller relationship. When a person falls in love with you, despite the age difference, it's not a rejection of reality. It's an affirmation of the connection they feel. It's an acknowledgement that regardless of how many years you've lived, Your hearts align in a way that transcends these earthly measurements of time. It says, I see you for who you are right now, and that is enough. In fact, it's everything. We must also understand that age is a fluid concept in the realm of relationships. At different stages of life, we carry with us different emotional experiences, challenges, and goals. A younger person might not have lived through all of the milestones that an older partner has, but that doesn't necessarily make them less capable of giving love or receiving it. They may have a fresh perspective, new dreams, and a vibrant energy that an older person can connect with and find inspiring. Similarly, an older person might bring stability, a deeper sense of understanding, and a maturity that can complement the younger partner's spirit. The beauty of love lies in its ability to fuse these qualities in a way that strengthens both individuals. There's an undeniable beauty in two people coming together, even though the world around them may question their choices. In fact, it's that very questioning that often reveals just how powerful their connection really is. If love is easy, if it follows the rules and fits within the confines of what society deems appropriate, does it have the same power? Perhaps, but it doesn't carry the weight of defiance, of pushing past the boundaries we think are immovable. When love ignores these limitations and chooses to exist, it becomes a force of nature, a force that not only brings two people closer, but challenges the status quo. This kind of love doesn't need validation from the world. It validates itself through the simple act of existing. It says that age is just a number and that true love is a rare, precious thing that cannot be confined to a mold or a set of expectations. It teaches us that there is beauty in rejecting societal pressures and allowing love to take root regardless of how it's perceived by others. What makes love that transcends time and age even more remarkable is the courage required to embrace it. When two people decide that the connection they share is worth pursuing, they are often faced with judgment, skepticism, and criticism from the world around them, but they push forward anyway. They choose each other despite the noise because they understand that what they have is far deeper than the superficial judgments of others. And that's when love truly becomes powerful. It becomes a rebellion against convention, a celebration of what it means to choose another human being for reasons that no one else can fully comprehend. In the end, the beauty of love that transcends age is its freedom. It refuses to be boxed in or defined by the limitations we place on it. It's a reminder that when two people connect on a soul-deep level, age is irrelevant. What matters is the bond they share, the respect they have for one another, and the love that blooms from within. Love, especially when it defies the conventional expectations of society, requires one thing above all else: courage. It is easy to love within the boundaries that are set for us. When society tells us what is acceptable and when we follow the script, there's a sense of comfort and familiarity. But when love pushes us into territories we've been told to avoid, when it asks us to stand against judgment, to reject the noise of outside opinions, it takes bravery. It takes courage to love someone when the world says this isn't the right choice. It takes courage to love against the backdrop of skepticism, against the possibility of rejection, and sometimes against the very nature of what society considers normal. It is precisely this kind of courage that makes love so powerful, so pure, and so transformative. To love boldly, especially in a world that thrives on rules and expectations, is an act of defiance. It is a statement that says, I will not allow the world's rules to dictate the deepest emotions of my heart. This act of defiance is not born out of rebellion for rebellion's sake, but from a deeper, more profound desire to live authentically. It's a decision to honor one's heart over society's rigid structure. This is particularly true in relationships where the age gap or the dynamics between two people don't fit neatly into the societal box of what's considered acceptable or normal. The courage to love despite these differences is a testament to the authenticity of the connection shared. It speaks to the power of the individuals involved, how they choose to prioritize their love and connection over any external pressures. The courage to love beyond the confines of age, background, or tradition is often a lonely road. When society doesn't understand, when friends, family, and even strangers raise their eyebrows and voice their concerns, it takes immense strength to continue down that path. But this courage is not just a reaction to external forces, it's also about embracing vulnerability. To love someone despite the odds requires opening up your heart fully, allowing yourself to be exposed in ways that can be uncomfortable. It means showing up without the armor of defensiveness or pride, choosing to put your heart on the line, knowing that you might face rejection or judgment, but you do it anyway because the connection, the love, and the bond are worth the risk. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with messages about what we should want, who we should love, and how we should love, finding the courage to step outside of these norms takes guts. It's not just about rejecting societal norms, but about standing firm in the face of judgment, sometimes ridicule, and still saying, I choose this. I choose this love. People who find the courage to love in this way don't do so because they are naive or unrealistic. They do it because they recognize that love, in its purest form, does not have to justify itself to anyone. They understand that love is not an act of fitting into the box that society has drawn, but an act of creating something unique, something personal, something that exists on its own terms. It's easy to love someone when there's no risk involved, when there's no pushback, when there's no challenge. But real courage isn't about easy choices. It's about making the decision to love someone when the world may say it's inappropriate or strange. It's about having the bravery to defend the bond you share even when it doesn't make sense to anyone else. It's about standing firm in your truth, even when that truth is misunderstood by those closest to you. Loving despite judgment, despite the doubts and questions of others, requires an internal strength that many people will never truly understand. It's an expression of faith, not just in the other person, but in the love itself. Courage in love isn't always loud or dramatic. It's not about making grand gestures or fighting every battle for the relationship. Sometimes the greatest courage is simply in staying true to your feelings, even when the people around you are telling you to do otherwise. It's about showing up for the person you love, even when there's fear that the world may never understand. It's about embracing the uncertainty, the risks, and the vulnerability of a relationship that is seen as unconventional, and yet choosing to build it anyway. It's about giving love the space it needs to grow even when others may try to shrink it to fit their worldview. One of the most profound aspects of this kind of courage is how it reflects a deeper belief in the power of love itself. People who love with such boldness understand that love is not a shallow thing. It's not about fulfilling societal expectations or playing a role. It's about creating something real and lasting, something that has the power to transcend time, age, and all the other barriers that life tries to impose. This is the essence of courage and love. A belief that the connection you share with another person is not just a fleeting moment, but something deep and enduring. It's the kind of love that doesn't need external validation because it validates itself through the strength of its presence, its authenticity, and the courage it takes to nurture it. Loving boldly also means acknowledging the fear that comes with it and choosing to step into that fear anyway. It's understanding that you're taking a risk emotionally, socially, and sometimes physically, and deciding that it's worth it. There will always be the fear of judgment, the fear of ridicule, the fear of rejection, but real courage is moving forward in spite of these fears. It's about showing up each day for the relationship, even when there are challenges, even when the world looks at you sideways and saying, this love is worth fighting for. This love is worth the discomfort. This is where the true power of love comes to life. Not in the absence of fear, but in the way love flourishes despite it. Sometimes the courage to love boldly is not about fighting the world, but about fighting for the relationship itself. It's about staying committed to your partner and the shared bond you have, no matter what others think. It's about knowing that the most important opinions are the ones that come from the heart, the ones that don't seek approval from anyone else. To love with courage is to trust in the authenticity of your own heart and the heart of the person you're with. To trust that the connection between you is something that no one else can define or take away. It's easy to conform to the societal mold, to love when it's safe, to love when it's easy. But the real beauty of love is in the act of loving fearlessly, the courage to love beyond age, beyond judgment, beyond all the expectations the world tries to place on us, is what transforms us. It opens us to a deeper connection with not only the person we love, but with ourselves as well. It reminds us that love in its truest form is not about fitting into a mold. It's about creating something uniquely yours. And that in itself is worth the courage it takes to live it. True love, the kind that endures and stands the test of time, is never about surface level attraction or the easy things that can be seen with the naked eye. It's not about the way someone looks, the number of years they've been alive, or any of the external attributes that society so often fixates on. Now, the true essence of love is found in what we don't see, what's hidden beneath the surface. It's in the way two people connect on a deeper level, emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. True love sees beyond the physical, beyond the number of years between two people, and recognizes something far more meaningful and lasting. It's about a soul-deep connection that transcends all the superficial measures the world often holds up as important. When someone falls in love with you, despite any age difference or other external factors, it's not because they're captivated by your outer appearance, your physical traits, or your age. Those things may initially attract someone to you, but they are not the foundation upon which love is built. True love is not about what can be seen, it's about what can be felt. It's the way you make each other feel seen and understood, how you create a space where both people can show up fully without fear of judgment. It's about the moments of deep understanding when words aren't needed, when just being with the other person feels like the most natural thing in the world. What makes love so powerful in this context is its ability to look past the surface. It doesn't matter if someone is older or younger. Love at its core is a recognition of something that goes beyond time and experience. It's about the emotional, intellectual, and spiritual alignment between two people. The depth of understanding that comes when two people truly connect on this level is not something that can be easily explained or understood by those who haven't experienced it. It's something that only those in the relationship can fully grasp, the way their hearts and minds align, how they communicate with a glance, or how they support each other without a word being spoken. When someone chooses to love you despite the age difference, they are choosing to see you as more than just the number of years you've lived. They are choosing to look deeper, to understand who you are on a profound level. They see your heart, your soul, your unique qualities that make you who you are. And that connection goes far beyond the years you've spent on this earth. The decision to love someone based on these deeper aspects is an affirmation of what truly matters. The emotional bond, the shared experiences, and the way two people can complement each other in a way that defies any conventional standard. The depth of love that exists between two people who see beyond the surface is something rare and powerful. It is often this emotional intelligence, this deeper level of connection that sustains relationships and helps them endure. Age may bring with it a wealth of experience, but it does not automatically guarantee the wisdom or the capacity for deep emotional understanding that true love requires. Some individuals may have lived through more years, but that doesn't mean they necessarily possess the qualities needed to form a meaningful, lasting connection. Emotional maturity, empathy, and the ability to communicate honestly and openly with another person are what truly matter in love. These qualities transcend age, background, and other external factors. When two people share these qualities, they are able to build a connection that is rooted in something much deeper than what can be seen on the surface. True love also involves a mutual respect that goes beyond the age or experience gap. When someone chooses to love you despite the difference in years, they are recognizing your worth as a person, not as a number or a statistic. They are valuing your individuality, your ideas, and your beliefs, understanding that your perspective is just as valid and important as there. The true beauty of love lies in this deep respect for one another, this recognition that both individuals are equal partners in the relationship, regardless of their age. This kind of love encourages both people to grow and evolve, to challenge each other in meaningful ways, and to learn from one another. It creates an environment where both partners can thrive, supporting each other as they work toward common goals and shared dreams. It's essential to recognize that this deeper connection is built on trust, vulnerability, and authenticity. When two people are truly in love, they are not trying to conform to any external expectations or molds. They are simply being themselves, showing up for each other in an honest and open way, without pretense or fear. Love that transcends surface level attraction allows for a deeper level of intimacy where both individuals can be their true selves without the fear of judgment. This is where the magic happens, the moment when both people are free to be vulnerable, to share their hopes, fears, and dreams, knowing that they will be accepted for who they are. In relationships where there is an age difference, this type of love is particularly powerful. There may be external pressures or judgments from others, but when both individuals are able to see each other for who they truly are, without the lens of societal expectations, they can build something far more meaningful than any superficial connection. It's not about conforming to a specific idea of what love should look like based on external factors like age, appearance, or experience. It's about recognizing the deep bond that exists between two people and allowing that bond to grow and flourish free from judgment and limitation. The importance of emotional connection cannot be overstated. While physical attraction may bring two people together, it is the emotional bond that keeps them together over the long term. When two people connect on a deeper level, beyond the superficial, it creates a foundation of trust, respect, and understanding that allows their love to endure. This connection is what sustains them through the ups and downs, the challenges and the changes that come with time. Age may present challenges, but it doesn't diminish the strength of the emotional connection that two people share. In fact, it can often enhance it, as both individuals learn from each other and grow together in ways that might not have been possible without the age difference. True love that sees beyond the surface is not just about finding someone who fits into a particular mold. It's about finding someone who complements you, who brings out the best in you, and who challenges you to become a better version of yourself. It's about discovering a connection that goes beyond the physical and taps into something much deeper and more profound. When two people are able to see past age, experience, and all the other external factors that may try to define them, they can build a relationship that is truly special. It's a bond that is based on respect, understanding, and love. Love that sees beyond the surface and celebrates the deeper, more meaningful connection that exists between two people.